Testing 1, 2, we see what we do. Mm-hmm. 9:30, time to go. And we are back. Tuesday, March 16th, 2021. And guess what? My birthday is on the 18th. And guess what? I am getting my vaccine on the 18th. That's my birthday present. Be free of COVID. Not to cower around, skulking in the woods. Okay. So, guys, you want to have a look around? Let's check out the 7-day forecast for the weather. And that's going to have an effect on things as far as avalanche conditions go this week. There we go. While we're doing that, why don't we just punch up our cursor so that you guys can see it. And go to accessibilities. If you're on a Mac, guys, then you go to display, and then you go to cursor, and then you make it huge. So even the blind people, if you had 2 glass eyes, you could see this puppy. Alrighty. As you can see, we are a little cooler today, rising temperatures a little bit, not quite much freeze. So we had good freeze last night. There was frost on my windshield. I had to scrape it off. And then Thursday, I wonder what Thursday is going to look like. Oh, actually, Friday is going to be the one that's a concern. Although it's cloud cover, 7 degrees, but we get no freeze overnight on Thursday night. So that means that you're going to wake up. For even further north, there's going to be like whatever, almost no crust whatsoever. And what crust there is isn't going to take long to break down. So my guess is, if I was a betting man, which I am, is that hey, Terry Lee, I got to get you in a minute. I just do this 10 minutes of actual news, and then the Babel Fest starts. Yeah, so I'm guessing Friday, if you're thinking of doing something big on Friday, you might want to rethink that or plan around having a deteriorating avalanche conditions. Because you can see with Avalanche Canada right now, this is our forecast area, the area of concern for us. But overall, things are looking pretty darn good. Here's something you don't see too often, though, right? Oops. Is the parts Canada where, right there. Oops. Go to. Oh, to the moon, Alice. Go there. Bang. So you got low, low, moderate. And as Aaron Beardmore would say, cool, like is expecting fairly good cloud coverage throughout the day. Although, you know what, I don't actually see that happening here. You might want to start even considering right now as moderate if you were out today, which this talking to me would probably do you no good whatsoever. Because if we went to this cam here, you can see this is Lake Louise. and there is not a lot of cloud cover. It's a little wispy, but it could be clear and hot for see, these north aspects are probably, they're in good swing, but these south aspects cooking as much as I'm good looking. So that's going to be a concern. Maybe this might deteriorate, but he says a warning. I mean, if you're not getting what they're expecting, and it's hotter than what is predicted, and you're not getting the cloud cover, then you're gonna might want to evaluate where you are going to be at what time of the day. Let's go back to Avalanche Canada, take a look around. Here's something interesting though, is it's all good everywhere. Sparwood starts to pick up more moderate conditions, but right down here in Waterton, yeah, baby, check out Waterton. It's good today, but it is deteriorating rapidly in the next couple of days. Here's something weird, like this high in the middle of it made a high sandwich. And I don't know why. I wonder what their thing is for that. That seems weird. We'll expect rapid warming temperatures Saturday, part of sunny skies, temperatures dip below. So tree line is going to be high, the rest is considerable. Doesn't matter either way. The crusts are going to be broken down. They're expecting a lot warmer temps. So we could go to Waterton. And search results for nothing. Come on. Oh, Waterton. And yes. Yeah, look what they're getting, eh? So no freezing. So this is these 2 days. This was this, and this is a sandwich day where it's high in the middle, and considerable or extreme in the middle, and considerable or high. So yeah, and that's going to be the spring conditions here in a few weeks. You can start to see, we'll be starting to see that in the next 2 or 3 weeks around here. No big surprise there. For those of you, I have been ignoring you guys, but cross-country skiing is really good right now. I would suggest if you are just into town and you don't know anything about skiing, try these Tunnel Mountain winter trail loops. They're easy to access, like 20 feet to the trailhead. You can drive right up there, right to them. They're well maintained by Parks Canada. They might be getting a little icy, but I think it's still going to be good. Spray River West. I've never done this one. I might go do that. I don't know. But yeah. All trail conditions have been reported really good. The Moraine Lake area has been really well. Red Earth Creek. Is all good. So also they have electric fat bikes and fat bikes for rent in town here. You can get them at Backtracks. I don't know about the electric ones, but Backtracks has a whole bunch of those fat bikes, and that I see as an option more and more for people these days. Okay, and then the other thing I wanted to take a look at was, let's go back to the Parks Canada forecast, because you ice climbers, you pretty boy ice climbers, Avalanche Canada, are, where are you guys? I noticed there was some ice falling off on the Stanley area. And that's Mount Ball, so Mount Stanley's in here, Mount Hafner. Yeah, and these guys have been reporting this here. I think this is French Reality. So they're like a motorcycle sized block, big motorcycle, became detached. And as these guys were roping up and having a look at it, swept the first two pitches of the climb, and then crashed into the snowbank. And so they didn't bother to have a look around and see what else was going to come down. They just packed up their rope and left. And you know what? My motto is it's better to be a live coward than a dead hero. Or a good retreat is better than a bad offense. I have spoken. The other report in this area is Nightmare on Wolf Street, which seems like there was good conditions right up till pitch 3. The last pitch was pretty challenging with lots of delaminated ice and overhanging ice. Isn't that a good combination? Delaminated overhanging ice. That's a mouthful. Man, if you hadn't been climbing ice for like decades and decades and decades, just saying that would probably choke you. So anyhow, yeah, they're not doing. I mean, that's going to happen more and more with the ice climbing thing as the solar temperatures get stronger. The only thing that you can do, but dead heroes live forever. So yeah, they do they? All right. You know the thing is, like, there's a generation of people that don't even know who Alex Lowe is, right? Or Jeff Lowe for that matter. But Jeff Lowe kind of died more of natural causes than from battle scars. But yeah, okay. Where was I? Says the great Joseph. The other thing I was going to do, I was going to tell you guys, I saw some reports from over here. Mount Stephen, this right in here, eh? I told you guys about this the other day, and I'm telling you again. This would be a great tour right up Divide Creek here. That's, oh, what you always do that, man. So, um, yeah, so you park, you used to park, there's a set of train tracks here, and you can see it as you're driving this way, and then there's a little pullout, and then that road takes you down, and there's a parking lot, but I think that belongs to the railroad, and if too many cars are starting to use that, then CP is very possessive over their land, right? They have a huge amount of land. That comes from a historical agreement when they built the railroad that they would get X number of amount of land on either side of the railroad tracks. Hence all those incredible properties that they have, in Winnipeg and Banff, Vancouver, Montreal, all of those things. It's funny that a company starts out with that kind of advantage and ends up getting bought out by some big American conglomerate. Hudson's Bay Company, the same thing, right? Started out with the entire Rupert's land. Now what are they? They're the smallest tax write-off in some big American hedge fund. Okay, so that's my pick of ski tours. This basin is really cool. It's all north aspect in here. It's a benign little glacier, probably 2 meters of snow in there. We could take a look. You want to see what it really looks like? There's Mount Temple. So we would be narrowing into here, St. Piran. This is the creek drainage here. And where you would park. You probably these days, I think you might have to park at this pullout. I believe that's parking pullout right here. And where we used to park, but now with the kind of traffic that's happening, we used to park here, right? So you pull in and then you can see this road and you drop down and you can park right underneath here and there was plenty of room. And then you just go underneath, walk underneath the railroad tracks, put your skis on, cross the creek, come down into here and you aim for this creek drainage. And this creek drainage is a lot more open than it looks in here. It's quite good, but with the amount of snow that we have right now, yeah, look at it. So that whole thing would just be like a ski run right out, especially with this kind of snow coverage. And I found it really good. Getting out was like lots of fun, and it was gradual enough that I didn't even notice that I was getting when I was going in. And then you come right up into here, into this basin, and this is Niblock, Mount White, Devil's Thumb. A little benign glacier right in here. You see it's almost nothing for, and that thing would be so buried. But you can actually just, you don't even really have to go on there. Just come up on this base and ski up into here. And then there's great skiing like right down through here. You can just throw your probe out. If you get less than a meter, just go up here and ski down. Still a really good run, really good basin. And I see some people have been crossing over here lately. We'll have to take a look into that because that was this report. Where is it? Yeah, right here. Pope's Call and North Glacier. And okay, crusty, heavy, skied up, following the bent routes on mostly hard slabs. Chimney was filled with snow and easy scramble. No signs of avalanches. In order to see any activity, skied down North Glacier. Mixed conditions, crust heavy, snow, mixed penetration. So a whole bag to the Narrow Glades in surprisingly good conditions. So a mixed bag of tricks. There we go. And that look like fun or what? Skating, non-existent, that sort of thing. So other than that, it's all based on this sort of solar thing, and we're looking probably at deteriorating conditions as things get warmer over the next few days. North aspects are still reporting good skiing conditions, snow conditions on down to as far as 1,700 meters. And if you're wondering how high that is, the highway at Bow Lake is what is that? 1,900 meters. That's right. So that's pretty good. Nothing really changing around there. And nothing is going to change until we get some precip that's supposed to be coming in over the next couple of days, wasn't it? Go back. Banff, Lake Louise. Let's go with Lake Louise. Get this a little closer. Day hikes, Marine Lake. Oh, this is Parks Canada. Oh, God. Oh, no. Anyhow, folks, that is about it. I don't know. Nothing much to tell you. The other thing, the same warning that goes on as was going on the other day is that delaminating ice. What does delaminating mean? It means that water is running between the ice and the rock. And the rock is getting the ice is getting delaminated from the rock. And the reason for that is because the direct sunlight heats up the rock faster than the ice can stay cold. So it just, well, not faster than the ice can stay cold, but it just heats it up. And then that sort of chemical bond that the ice and the rock have no longer exists. And chemical bond, I mean, the limestone is so porous, right, that the water just pours into the upper part of it. And when that ice freezes pretty good, right? It doesn't just attach to it. The other thing too, like those guys saw in Stanley, that was about 4 or 5 days ago. And that was a big block. And Stanley is mostly northwest facing, right? So it doesn't get a lot of heat on it until late in the day, and it is a problem for some people if you're there in the wrong time. So I don't know. Any place you go right now, that's a concern. All those side climbs and things like that in Louise Falls, anything over top of your head, even Johnson's Canyon, those things can have an issue right now. And that also goes, as long as you got snow cover right now, the rocks and stuff are going to stay in place. But once we lose that snow cover and we get this melting in the daytime, places like Hafner Creek can potentially be having hazards on there. I've been there late in the season with clients, and then suddenly, it gets cooked because it does get a lot of sun early. and rocks start rolling off down there, and that's probably just the usual melt freeze sort of thing from the winter. I don't have anything for you. Hey, you guys want to see a crag that I found up in the Yukon? Or not the Yukon. Is this in the Yukon? It is in the Yukon. It's halfway between where the Dempster Highway is and Inuvik. And I saw this place. And I thought, this would probably got a lot of potential for rock climbing here. Right. So I saw this crag right here, and you can be sure it's got nothing but first ascents on it. And it's a good surface rock. Like, look at that, eh? Look at how featured that is. Some nice little overhanging roofs. Some of it looks to be about 2 pitches long. Yeah. Some of this stuff over here, you got some slab climbing. That's great for the people from Jasper. Because Jasper climbers are slab climbers, right? And they always wear their toque all the time. Whether they go to a wedding, a funeral, one night stand, you name it. They got to have a toque on. You can always tell a Jasper climber. They're wearing a toque in the dead of summer. It's like 35 degrees Celsius and they're there. So it looks, there's some more stuff over here. Look at these towers over here. Huh? And these climbs, somebody should, well, the thing is you could go out there, but who's going to go to the freaking, the middle of the Mackenzie Basin, next to the Arctic Ocean? Although you could climb as long as you want because it's daylight all day and night. Whoa, are you oh, them fighting words, but it's true. I know that it is. You guys, you drive me crazy with your damn toques. John Goulet. Are you from Jasper, John? And I mean, I'm sorry to hear that if you are, but, I'm a Banff snob, guys. Born and raised. I actually was born in Banff. Not many people know that. Let's check this out. These things out. Look at that, eh? So anyhow, somebody get a couple hundred bolts. I'm going to propose. I'm going to put a proposal on. Arc'teryx, I heard, was offering $20,000 for some sort of indigenous awareness program or introducing it. And my daughter lives in Iqaluit. She's a CBC reporter, and she sent me down one of her coworkers, and I guided him around a couple of times, summer and winter. And then he got so good, he could snatch the pebble from my hand. And I said, it's time for you to go, you low-life, gut-eating, subhuman, pinko commie mofo. Calgary, now I lost my toque. And straightened it in for a cowboy hat. Ahoo! Yoo-hoo! Yep. Don't worry, Jasper ain't going nowhere. There's always an opening for another slab climber. Oh, that's the highway she's down, eh? I came on this. This is another viewpoint of it. So there's lots of little pinnacles in here. You can set up a camp. Somebody should make a campground, a bar, an airstrip, a nightclub, a casino. This is then looking into the Mackenzie Delta. This is where all that oil exploration went on in the 60s and 70s. This field in here, this whole thing was filled with dinosaurs at one time. It was one of the last areas to be frozen. But boy, you sure drive a long ways. So you know what the thing was? We went to, so my kids would have a tagline for the rest of their life. We drove to Tuktoyaktuk, and then we had we went to this restaurant. Where is it? So this is where we were going. Fort McPherson, Inuvik, Tuktoyaktuk. I flew into Tuktoyaktuk one time. This was about 35 years ago. I was working for a blasting company where we got in a last minute job. We had to go in, so we left the Eastern Arctic. They flew us straight onto this island, and we had to blast this road while we still could to well before winter set in, and it was frickin' winter already. It was like late October. It took us about 6 weeks, and there were just the two of us. We were hand drilling and hand blasting this thing so these cats could get up and get this machinery up to the top of before winter set in to the top of this mountain because it was a dew line site, distant early warning radar tower, and yeah, baby. So there it is. Grandma's kitchen in Tuktoyaktuk, and the kids ordered muktuk. So, for the rest of their life, you know how it is when you're one of those snobby little freaking parties where some doughhead's going on about his fucking caviar, right? And then go, boo, do, 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 do. And then you can just sit there, it's like it's swilling your wine and whatever, and you go, this caviar is okay, but it's not as good as the muktuk in Tuktoyaktuk, right? And so you got that tagline for the rest of your life, kids. Or somebody's going on, yeah, and they're babbling on and so on, and you can say, yeah, but what has that got to do with the price of muktuk in Tuktoyaktuk? And that'll shut them up. If they don't shut them up, nothing will. And you can see, David is not happy. we just spent like 110 hours in 11 days going from Banff to Tuktoyaktuk and back, right? And she was sleeping in the back of a pickup truck this whole time. This is her summer vacation. And she is not pleased. Like, this isn't the usual paddling trip or climbing trip that we go on. This is like road rage hell. And I'm doing, like 150, 160 in this freaking Ford F1 Explorer, biggest Hemi they got, ripping down the road. Everybody's asleep, and I'm listening to Johnny Cash for like 6 hours straight. And they wake up and they're in a new biosphere. And then they're like, "Where's the trees?" I ain't seen trees in 4 hours, man. So, Tuktoyaktuk, man, that place. There's like the grocery shelves, right? So yeah, going into the store. Oh, they're picking ghost berries now. They're harvesting. Oh, this is by Grandma's Cray. Couple of skidoos getting ready for the wintertime. Those look like they've had better days. This is all driftwood here, right? From the different parts of the ocean, so it just accumulates. So it's not like there's no wood, but there's no trees. There's guys looking for a job. He's probably working right now, wishing he didn't have a job. Kind of typical street in Tuk. Oh, driftwood. Grandma's kitchen. Boy, it's tough country, eh? Tough country to live in. I worked north of here. Spent 2 winters working on drilling rigs on Banks Island and Melville Island, and Banks Island, yeah, for Pan Arctic Oils in the 70s. And in the wintertime, man, I tell you, there's no daylight. Like, we're quite a way further north. We're another 600, 700 kilometers north of this. We're closer to Moscow than we are to Edmonton. But anyhow, you guys, that's it for you. Good float trips, Calgary. Oh, yeah. Unless somebody's got any questions, I am going to get out of here. Just keep your heads up. Watch those south aspects. Good place to break a leg when those crust catch your skis. Ice climbers, it's going to get hot. Stuff's going to delaminate. Ice is going to fall off. The delaminating stuff is what scares me. Well, ice falling off scares me too, but I can usually just avoid that by sticking to this away from it, like where it's going to land, unless it bounces or something. Cornices too are going to be an issue for you skiers as things warm up. The cornices act differently than the rest of the snowpack, and they're extremely hard to predict because of they're exposed on three sides, right, all the way around to the air. So what's actually going on inside of cornice and why they break away, nobody really knows. If they tell you that they know, then you've just met a liar. God darn liar. Let's say. Trying to spell hasta luego. Hasta luego. Hoping for ideas. I don't know where you would go. Would I? Well, I do. You know what I do? Depends on how hard you climb, like where you're going. Things like Kitty Hawk, Polar Circus. I don't think you can get up and down that unless you're like, super climber. The things in field you could do, but if you were like got in there early enough, but you'd want to be out of there by like whatever 10 or 11, so you could go do some of that stuff, depending on the coverage and things like that. But things that are just exposed, you're going to be running short of time. Go do some top roping and Bear's Spirit. Just watch for that's pretty sheltered in there, right? I think that ice stays formed up because it's so sheltered for quite a while. So that wouldn't be a bad place to go, I would think. Am I? Oh, I just got a text message. What? What? What says the Joe? For walking one of these? Are you up for walking one of these? Yeah. Anyway, guys, I'll see you tomorrow, man. I am signing off because this is just getting way too freaking long.